Hello there! Welcome to my FlossTube channel. My name is Beth Twist and I'm a cross-stitch designer, and my brand name is Heartstring Samplery, and this is a channel where I talk about mostly my cross-stitch designs and my business and what I have going on. It's a way for me to make announcements and help you get to know me better, I guess. I sometimes get rambly and sometimes I'm to the point. And today I might be a little bit more of the latter, but we'll see. Welcome to my barnyard. It's kind of noisy in my house right now, so I'm outside. So first, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what I've been up to the last few minutes while I've been absent from FlossTube. It's been a busier summer than I anticipated. I thought maybe this summer would be a bit like the 80s with everything being canceled and not so many play dates or family vacations, or I mean, it's not like we're jet setters, but it has just been busy. My son is going to be a freshman in high school this coming school year, and he was accepted to be an intern at our church this summer, and what that has meant is weekly meetings and getting him here and there and everywhere. He's learned how to run the soundboard, so there's been some training sessions, and so that's kept me hopping. And my daughter is in middle school still, so for her it's been more so decorating her new bedroom. We have a 3-bedroom house and it's a bit tight with 2 kids who do school from home most days. We've been doing that for about 5 years. Their charter school has classes on campus 2 days a week, and 3 days a week they're home. My husband has been working from home for over a year, and obviously I work from home. Maybe that's not obvious, but I work from home. My office is in pockets all over the house. My computer lives under the stairs, and my shipping supplies are in the coat closet, and the kitchen counter is my work surface. And it's interesting. So up until this summer, my 2 children still shared a bedroom, much to their chagrin, but you know, it's probably more normal across the world than it is here in the United States for families to share sleeping spaces. So my husband and I didn't feel too bad about it. We both grew up in families where there was a lot of sharing of bedrooms and resources. But yeah, I've sort of felt guilty the last few years as they get older, into their teenage years, that they still have to share a bedroom, and I wanted to give them some more privacy. So this summer, the major undertaking that used up all of my spare time was redoing the jigsaw puzzle that is our house. And basically that just means both of the kids now have their own rooms, freshly painted with colors they chose, and new bedding or curtains or whatever they happen to need. And they both have part of my business in their bedrooms. My son has all of my filing cabinets, and most of his closet is my stuff. And my daughter has half of her closet with my stuff. And they're super thrilled. Their rooms look great. They needed a paint job badly after years of just wear and tear. And it feels good to be able to give them something. So that's been taking up my time. I was able to, even though in-person retreats were canceled, I was able to do 2 video Zoom retreats this summer, one in June and one in July. And I have one coming up next month in September. And it's the same amount of prep time. Even though it's and in some ways it's actually a little bit more work, because for the first retreat I individually mailed kits to all of the attendees so that they would have them in time. And for the second retreat, my deadline had to move up so that I had to get things done faster than I had been preparing. But, you know, nobody was disappointed. It's not the same as meeting in person, but at least for now, it's the world that we're living in, I guess. So I had those 2 retreats took place and were a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work to prepare designs and kits and, you know, collaborating with the organizers and such. And if you've had the privilege of attending a Zoom retreat, I hope you've had a good experience with it. I have a feeling next year is going to be a bit of a mixture of in-person and Zoom retreats depending on who's hosting and where they're at. I do have 2 retreats on the calendar for next year that I hope will be in person, but I also want us all to be safe. So we'll just see what happens. We're all in it together, right? Yay! So my next retreat will be in September, and that's for Acorns and Threads, my local needlework shop. And I'm super disappointed that it's not going to be in person. I was really looking forward to being part of a retreat in my neighborhood. It seems like a large portion of needlework retreats are in the Midwest or East Coast. I know the Attic does retreats down in Arizona, and that's considered the West, but it's still substantially far away from my house. So it's all good when life gets back to normal, and I'm just trusting that it will. Hopefully we'll be able to have one here in the Pacific Northwest again. So that's what I'm working on next. And then I'm also working on a fun project and kit for the I Don't Want to Be in Another Club that Kit Stitcher is having on her website. There's not a set schedule, and whenever I'm prepared and done, and I'll ship things off to her, and whenever she's ready, she'll make an announcement. Don't ask me when, because I don't know, but I'm working on it right now, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I think anybody who can get their hands on it will be excited. And just so you know, when I do retreat projects, they're never entirely exclusive to that event or club. They will at some point in the future be released. So if you miss out on something, you really haven't missed out. You just have to wait a little longer before you get in on it. So, announcement out of the way. Public service announcement number 1. I've been meaning to talk about this pattern on my FlossTube for quite a while. And like I said, life has been busy, and summertime, trying to make my family a priority and let my business just kind of float as much as I can. But I did design something back in, I guess it was late April, early May. And it was born out of a need in my life for some peace, for some calm in the uncertain times that we were living in at the time. I feel like I'm now more so adjusted, whereas back then I was like, I just don't even know what the future is going to look like. And at the same time, there's a part of me that's a bit of a history nerd, for lack of a better word. I'm not necessarily an expert on history, but history intrigues me. And I've always been fascinated with stories of challenging times that people live through and what happens on the other side, whether it's a war or the Dark Ages or even the Industrial Age, where just things were changing, or the post-war baby boom and how dramatic the effect of all of the baby boomers that were born had on our society. So there's a part of me that even though it's a kind of a terrible time to be alive, it's also amazing to be living through a time that is going to be in history books in the future. And so out of that, I wanted both therapy and recognition of these times that we're living in. I came up with a design called What a Time to Be Alive. Here's what the pattern cover looks like. And this is what the model looks like. Now, it might be a little hard to even see. It's a repeating motifs. Tulips in pots and some little berry bushes, and then it says what a time to be alive. And down at the bottom, I stitched for myself something, but then I also included an alphabet, so if you wanted to stitch something down there, you can. Now in the chart, it's charted in color because that's how I originally intended to stitch it. But the day I sat down to pull materials, I just wanted the most soothing color palette possible. And for me that day, it was this beautiful almond colored Gloriana silk thread on a really pretty neutral, this is Weeks Dye Works 32 count cocoa linen. So don't be confused if you get your hands on this chart and it's charted in color. Just ignore the symbols if you want to do it in one color. Now, here is the biggest catch with this design. It is only available through Acorns and Threads in Portland. This is a gift that I wanted to give to my local needlework shop. Is a special pattern that can only be purchased through the shop. So they have a website, acornsandthreads.com, where there's a form that you can fill out to request items. They don't have an actual online shop per se, but it's probably the most efficient way to get a message to them. And they are prepared to kit this up in any way you so choose. And if you want to talk to somebody on the phone, give them a call, and you'll likely need to leave a message and they'll call you back. And I hope you like it. I've seen many of you already stitching on it, and I think that's all I have to say about that one. I hope you consider giving Acorns and Threads a call to get your hands on a copy of that pattern, even if it's just as a souvenir of these times. Hydration. By the way, stick around because there is going to be a big announcement in this video. All right. So, the other thing that I've been up to, starting in March, when I got home from market, I decided to switch my Etsy shop over to instant downloads only, as a way of not being in town a lot. I don't have postal service pickup at my house. We live out in the forest and have a really long driveway, and we can have a mailbox at the end of the driveway if we want, but it's out of the line of sight from our house. And in the past, mailboxes out here have been vandalized, they've been burglarized, they've been damaged by wet weather. It rains a lot here, and so 20 plus years ago we got a post office box, and it's just been that way for my entire life. And so what that means, running an Etsy shop, is multiple trips to town a week to go mail patterns. And so I didn't want to continue doing that, and so I began the process of converting all of my patterns over to PDF format. I am not there yet. I'm about probably 2/3 to 3/4 of the way done converting my patterns to PDFs. So if you visit my Etsy shop, that's what you'll see. There is a listing in my Etsy shop that you can add on that basically adds postage and lets me know that you want a hard copy of the pattern. And so I've been doing that some too, but I've been really actually kind of surprised at how many of you are just over the moon thrilled to get PDFs instead of physical patterns. I think it's becoming more and more common for people to stitch from an app or just off of your tablet or phone, and I can see the benefit of that, being able to enlarge, to be able to see better really easily without having to go to a copy store. So it's been an interesting experiment, to the point that I've decided to permanently leave my shop that way. It has freed me up so much to just once again be creative and designing and really enjoying my role as in the cross stitch world, instead of being constantly on a deadline to get orders out the door. I enjoy that, but between the order filling and being available for my kids who needed help with their schooling or just regular running of the household type things, it was a bit, the Etsy shop was a bit overwhelming. And so to be able to convert that to a much less amount of labor has been a really good thing for my head. Really good thing. Have I been designing like crazy because of it? No. I've actually talked to a few other designers, and we're all a little bit struggling right now to come up with find the inspiration for design. And I think it's because we're all sort of reprocessing what the world looks like, and that's not what I'm here to talk about. Just trying to explain, I guess, where my head has been lately. So, I've spent many, lots of hours just sitting at my computer, reformatting charts and converting them to PDFs, and it's tedious in some ways, but it's been nice to bring all of my patterns up to a more standard look from a PDF standpoint. I'm still printing patterns, by the way, and sending orders to needlework shops. I actually have almost doubled my list of needlework shops that are ordering directly from me since March, and that's been a little bit surprising. I'm still sending printed patterns to the distributor, so don't worry, there are so many places you can still get my patterns in printed format. If that's what your preference is, it's still my personal preference to have printed patterns, so I get it. I don't think I'll ever stop providing printed patterns unless the paper industry completely falls apart. I don't know. I can't see any reason why I would stop doing that. It just seems like that's where the majority of people still want their patterns. But by having the PDFs, I'm also reaching out to a growing demographic of stitchers and international stitchers. I know you're out there. Many of you have reached out to me and said, thank you. I couldn't get your patterns before, and now I can. So welcome to the world of Heartstring Samplery, I guess. So, are you ready for my big announcement? Drum roll, please. I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow. Yay! No, that's not really my announcement. Don't throw anything at your screen. I am getting my hair cut tomorrow for the first time since December or January, I think. It's, not that I don't mind. It's kind of fun growing it out, and the longer it gets, the closer it gets to my childhood color. But my hair it's just too shaggy. and I had to wait a long time before I was able to get in to see my hair stylist. She's worth waiting for, by the way. So that is happening tomorrow, but that's not my big announcement. My big announcement is that tomorrow, or I suppose today, since I'm recording this on the 20th, but it will be uploaded on the 21st. So August 21st, 2020 is going to be my grand opening of my own web shop. Yay! Etsy is not going away. It will still be there. But I've been working since March on heartstringsamplery.com. The website has been there, but there hasn't been a lot of content, but I've been behind the scenes filling a shop full of patterns. They're the same patterns for the most part as you can find in Etsy. So why have I been devoting all of this time to my own web shop instead of just sticking with Etsy? Well, a few reasons. One, it's just kind of cool to have my own website and my own web shop. It eliminates a layer of fees that I pay to Etsy, so that's nice. I have a little bit more control over just how things are done. No more unexpected policies and procedures thrown at me by way of Etsy. It's not that they're a terrible company. They've actually been really good to me, but there have been some big changes along the way that it caused increased fees that I needed to pay, and so it'll just be kind of nice to not have that anymore. So my plan will be to transition away from Etsy, and eventually, if I maintain that Etsy shop, it'll probably just be a much more limited grouping of items. But for the next year, for sure, the shop will still be there. But heartstringsamplery.com will have a shop, and I'm super excited to open it. It feels like such a grown-up thing to do. So my web shop is going to be all digital items, just like Etsy, with a few exceptions, and I'll talk about that more a little bit later. In conjunction with my grand opening, I am going to have some brand new items available, and they're only going to be on the website to hopefully tempt you to check it out. And because if I put the new things in Etsy too, I don't know, if you're primarily an Etsy user, you might not even go check out the new website and see what's over there. So I am trying to tempt you to go check it out. So I am going to show you what those new things are. First of all, I will have a few physical items on my website, and they are the books. Since Market, these have only been available from other shops, not from me, the physical books themselves. And part of that was me avoiding the post office, and part of that was me giving shops the chance to sell the limited His Eye is on the Sparrow book. I'm down to not very many of these. So if you haven't bought one and want to get your hands on one, see if your local needlework shop still has it, and if they don't, you can get them on my website until they're gone. Once they're gone, I'm not planning to do another print run of them. That's the limited aspect of this book. The only time I might potentially print them again would be if I do another sampler in this series. The other one is my Consider the Lilies book. I haven't had these available to sell directly to you, so if you've been waiting, these will be in my Heartstring Samplery shop. And by the way, this is not a limited book. This is the format that this pattern, I intend to keep it in for the rest of time, or as long as I'm in business, whichever comes first. But also, something that many of you have been asking for is Consider the Lilies will be available as a PDF on my website as well. It is not going to be as many pages. So in the book, the chart is spread out over 24 pages so that it's really easy to read. In the PDF, it's spread out over 20 pages, so still highly readable, but it's, I didn't want to take away from the book, if that makes sense. So, but if you're an international customer or if you're a digital pattern follower, you can now get the PDF through my website, heartstringsamplery.com. Make sure you pay attention because I don't want you to order the book thinking that you're ordering the PDF. So read the description to make sure you're getting the one that you actually want. So that's exciting item numbers 1, 2, and 3, I guess, that are available on my website only and not on Etsy. This just sounds like a giant infomercial, and I don't like doing that, but that's kind of the purpose of this video, so I have to just roll with it, I guess. So, hydration again. Too much talking. Not enough talking? I don't know. Depends on who you are, I guess. Next. So if you may remember that last year I had a couple of designs I released through a club, and one of them was Flag Day at Twin Gables. This design is going to be available only as a PDF. I will not be printing this chart anymore for various reasons, but it will be one of the ones that's available on my website only. So if you've been waiting for this chart, it is now available in my web shop, not in Etsy. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this series. Actually, I'm just going to read. I didn't print off the thing that I was going to read. Well, that's silly. So, basically my Twin Gables series was an idea that I had sometime in 2018. I wanted to create a homestead that was not a common homestead style that we find in cross stitch. There's a lot of Victorians or salt box style houses, and I wanted to come up with a different architectural style because I don't like doing things the same as everybody else. And I'm not saying that everybody else is doing everything the same. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to come up with something that's not already out there, that hopefully is appealing to people. So I created a homestead that has twin gables. Now gables are these little peaks that kind of, so the roof line runs this way, but then there's a peak here and here, and those are the gables. So this is the house. And I wanted it to also be a series that honors holidays that are not necessarily really highly celebrated. And I recognize that that's somewhat problematic because maybe they're not celebrated because people don't care so much about them, or I don't know. They're not commercialized holidays. So the first one I designed was for Flag Day, and it says every day is Flag Day. If you don't know, Flag Day is May the 14th. And it recognizes the day that our country officially described what our flag was to look like. And up until that point, there had been many different flag styles that represented our country, and the United States of America has now a uniform flag for our country, and May 14th Oh no, which month is it? It's flashing below me and you're screaming at me which one it is. I'm confirming it right here. Does it say on here? May. It happens to the best of us and the worst of us. It happens to all of us. So anyway, every day is Flag Day. That was installment number 1 and is now available to everybody. Installment number 2 will not be available until November. Okay, this is not available yet, but I wanted you to see them together. So the second one is called Veterans Day at Twin Gables, and it's in honor of the veterans of all of the branches of military in our country, but could also be adapted for if you live in a different country, could be adapted for the veterans of your nation. This one has in particular the American flag on it, but I have charted by request some other country flags. So if you have a veteran in your family and you're from England or Australia and you would like to change the flag, let me know. But don't let me know until November when this is actually available. I wanted you to see them together. So they're intentionally similar so that you can have them out where you put your holiday decorations. And here's Twin Gables for this holiday. Here's Twin Gables for this holiday. And finally, I have a third design in the series. And I don't know if I will do more or if I'll stop at this one. But this one highlights a holiday that you may not be aware of. And it is called Women's Equality Day. And it is in honor of women's suffrage. Now, the official day of women's suffrage being passed has gone by, but August 26th is actually Women's Equality Day. I call this Suffrage Day at Twin Gables because I wanted to tie the holiday of August 26th, Women's Equality Day, together with the suffrage movement, which is what inspired the holiday. That's kind of really roundabout, but it's the same homestead. It's a bit larger of a design. I finished mine as a project bag. The instructions are not included with the pattern because I used somebody else's pattern. But here's the homestead, Twin Gables. It says Votes for Women on the banner here, 1920 to 2020 here. And then down here at the bottom it says, "We of one blood, one race." And that's a line from a poem by a woman whose name I'm putting below because I forgot to bring her information out here to the barn with me. The colors of the banners are gold, white, and purple because those were traditionally the colors that women's suffrage protesters used. So I hope you like it. I've decided to only have this available as PDF format to get it into your hands quickly. I ran out of time to get it out to you in printed format right away, and so I'm probably just going to keep it that way because it is a limited. The anniversary is, this year, so it's maybe more of a current times interesting pattern rather than one that will be something that people want to keep in their shops for the long term. So PDF only on the website in addition to Flag Day. No matter how hard you prepare for these video recordings mentally, if you're not like somebody who's just super talented at public speaking, it doesn't always come across how you want it to. In case you're wondering, I'm not good at public speaking. In case you were wondering. So, one final thing that is also brand new on my website is A is for adrenal gland. If you've been around for a little while, you may know that I created as a joke for Teresa, Kitten Stitcher, a G is for gallbladder. And it was meant to be just a funny haha. I popped it in the mail to her, the actual model, G is for gallbladder, because she was having gallbladder issues and had to have hers removed. And she liked it so much that she convinced me to make it available as a pattern. And so over the course of our conversation, we decided, wouldn't it be fun if this was just a chart that's available for charity? And so if you want G is for gallbladder, you have to go to kittenstitcher.com. And she has it there as, it's a $5 PDF instant download, I believe. And it benefits cats and dogs. And the A is for adrenal gland, is the second in the series. And this is what the PDF cover looks like. It's a tiny little chart. It's only 33 by 38-ish. It has 3 colors, and adrenal gland, because that is the body part in me that has caused the most problems over the years. And don't you just love this most perfect frame that I found? I've had it in my stash for probably 10 years, and when I realized that the colors exactly mimic the ones I chose for the design, I was pretty excited. So I'm going to read what I wrote about the adrenal gland pattern. Inspired by my own troublesome body part, which has at times altered my life to such an extreme that I can barely get off of the sofa, let alone thrive as humans should be able to. Giving tribute feels a bit like making fun of this tiny object that is rather a dysfunctional part of my nervous and hormonal system. This is the second in a series devoted to those fantastic and marvelous internal bits that regulate and keep us alive. Who knew the adrenal gland looks like a bit of tapioca pudding plopped on top of a kidney? I found it quite fitting that the colors that best depicted this gland are called banana pudding and whiskey. I hope this quick little stitch provides you with both entertainment and education. So, I am going to continue this series, and my hope is that I can find other people out there who have charitable, who first of all have a shop where they can do instant downloads, and secondly that have charities that are close to their heart. It's going to be my gift to them to be able to offer the chart. So on my website I will have a page, or I have a page that will have links to each of the designs available, and you'll have to go to different places to get them. They're always going to be $5. They're always going to be for the benefit of some nonprofit or charity. Mine will be for the benefit of a charity nonprofit called Outgrowing Hunger, and it is a community garden organization in my area where people are able to work a plot of land and grow fresh fruit and vegetables. Most of the people that take advantage is the wrong word. They have to apply for it. And anyway, most of the people that utilize this service are from other countries around the world. They're immigrants or refugees, and my friend that is the one who manages this nonprofit talks about the really interesting fruits and vegetables that they're growing and conversations he has with them and different times of the year. Different cultures are growing more things than others based on their native climate that they're used to. For example, in the wintertime, when not a lot is growing, he sees more people from northern climates that are still able to grow, whereas in the heat of summer, he's got people from more tropical climates who know how to grow hot weather foods. So it's just a really nice, they also do garden education programs, and it benefits people who otherwise are have food insecurity and who probably live in apartment complexes or places like that where they don't have the land to grow food. So it's a really cool program, and I love being able to support them. So for me, gardening is relaxing and it soothes my temperamental adrenal gland. So I thought it was a fitting organization to benefit. So if you would like to, if you've already stitched G is for Gallbladder and you want to continue on with the series, you can find this on heartstringsamplery.com. Those are all the new things that I have. And I hope something there is appealing to you, and if not, just go check out my website. There is a page that has free charts that cost you next to nothing. It costs you literally the effort of clicking and maybe printing on your own printer at home. There is information about my travel calendar, which is pretty blank right now. There's I'm trying to think of what else is on there. Just some general information. There's a contact form if you want to send me a message. You can sign up for a newsletter if you want to be on my newsletter, which, by the way, I haven't sent anything yet to anybody on that list until now. They're getting an announcement about the website, but up to this point. So all of that to say, I'm not going to spam you if you sign up for it. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you don't mind that this was much more about marketing my new website than get to know you or talking about my life. I do have quite a few FFOs that I would love to show you. I've spent some of my spare time, because I'm not running my Etsy shop so much, just finishing old projects that maybe I stitched something by somebody else but didn't really have a burning need to finish it, so they've just been languishing. And so I have some FFOs, I've got some works in progress that are also other people's designs. I've allowed myself the luxury of stitching designs that are not for me. They're not my models, they're just for fun. And so my next video will be much more standard format where I'm showing you things and such. But today I just wanted to announce the big news that I'm getting my hair cut. Just kidding. It was all about the website. But if you made it this far, you know it. Oh, also, if you made it this far, I have a coupon code for you. If you put "I saw it on FlossTube," all one word, into the coupon code box at checkout, you'll get 10% off of anything you buy from the website. My way of thanking you for making it to the end of this video. And that's it for now. I think this is probably going to be kind of a short video. I don't know, I haven't been keeping track of time. But next time around, it'll be a little less formal and a little more me, I guess. I just have to wait for the weather to cool down so I can actually stand being outside for more than 5 minutes. So, until next time, be well, enjoy your stitching, whatever you're working on, and see you next time. Bye.